What's up, guys? Dave here to bring you another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for my Galaxy deck. This is a monthly update on the process of the deck. You're going to see there's going to probably be quite a few changes that I'm going to explain here in a second. But of course, we've got the standard. We've got 1, 2, 3 Galaxy Ice Photon Dragons, 3 Soldiers, 3 Wizards. Now, here's the first change I made to the deck, was I cut my Knights from 1 to 2 to cut my deck down to a 40-card deck, because 2 weeks ago, it was at 48 cards, and so I had to make some cuts, and that's one of the cuts I made, and also for consistency. And another cut I made was I went down from the 3 to 2 Galaxy Ice Cloud Dragons for more consistency on draws. Now, here's the ones that a lot of people are going to be questioning. These actually come in 3, actually. 1, Karju, Jericho, the Star Destroying Destroyer, and then the 3 Gamasiel Sea Turtle Kaijus. Now, what you're going to be questioning is, why am I running Kaijus in this deck? So the first reason is to counter against Monarchs, because they like to tribute your stuff and isolate the extra deck. So tribute their stuff to see how they like it. And then it's also great against other decks, like, so there are certain decks. There's a lot of decks out in the meta that have cards that are on their field, like continuous spells and stuff that really benefit them. So if you were to put this on their field, it kind of puts a dent in their plans. Plus, they also have pretty sweet effects, like him. With him, you pretty much can negate the activation of any card effect and banish it, and then he basically presents your cards from being targeted. And of course, if worse comes to worse, you can always deal a quick 1,000 to your opponent, which is nice. Then 2 rank up the Magic 7th ones. Reason I know its effect is only 1 per duel, but I just found that I usually ended up opening with it. So the reason why I picked 2 was to make sure that just to make sure I would still be able to use it later on, just in case if I drew it in my hand. Plus, usually when you activate it, you're going to win that turn anyway. It's pretty much game over for your opponent. 2 Galaxy Expeditions, self-explanatory. And then another change, went down from 2 to 1, because I kind of like consistency, and I kind of felt like I didn't need more in the deck. 1 Twin Twisters. From the last video. 1 Terraforming for the Kaiju archetype here. 1 MST, and then I've also focused more on field destruction with monsters and such. So I've added Dark Hole into the deck, 1 copy. 1 Regeki, that's the one that I've had in the last video, and then Kyoto Waterfront, which is basically you need the counters to activate the Kaiju's effect, so that helps. 2 copies of Trade-In for draw power, and then Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. It is 3 copies of it. It is essentially it's essentially like a Regeki for Kaijus, basically. Basically, you reset the entire field of monsters, and then summon a Kaiju onto their side of the field, and then the Kaiju on your side of the field, and they both have to attack that turn. So it's pretty much, like a board wipe card, basically, that I'll use. And then, of course, they'll still have something on the field, but then I'll kill it, and then they'll have really nothing on the field. And there's also other combos I can use from Kaijus in the deck. It may not seem like an archetype that would work, but they actually go off each other really, really well. The 2 archetypes actually go bread and butter. 1 Photon Stream of Destruction, because I hate back row. And then, so now we're on the traps, and I've changed my traps a little bit. I've taken out everything that was attack prevention oriented, because I wanted this deck to have more of an all-out attack kind of feel, if you know what I'm saying. So, so I really don't because when I had all those Dimensional Prisons and Mirror Force and stuff, what would happen was it would always get me into situations where I just couldn't back out of, and plus Mirror Force and Dimensional Prison don't really work on a lot of decks anyway. So we've got 1 Torrential Tribute, 1 Trap Stun, one tech and transmigration. Funny story, this deck's actually going to have 3, but the HOA recently redid our mailbox, and until we get the key, which is probably going to be a few weeks, I have no access to it. So for now, I'm only running 1, but just keep in mind, I'm going to be running 3 in the future. 1 called the Haunted, 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, and a new card that I recently pulled out of the new set, the Ring Raiders. 1 copy of Xyz Reborn. Now onto the extra deck. There's been a few changes made here. So, I have upped my first card, which is 3 Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragons. Then I've got 2 Tachyons, 2 Full Armors, 1 Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter, 1 C-107 Neo Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon, 1 Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, 1 Azon Sylvalon the High Protector. I'll probably take him out as soon as number 38 comes out in the TCG. Right now it's the OCG, and it's a really good card. It will make this deck force to be reckoned with once it comes out. 1 number 23, which in my opinion is better than Felgrand, because it also has that ability to attack directly. 1 Felgrand, and a new card added to the deck actually. I'm still not able to get that wind up card that I want. However, this can do just fine. Number 21 Frozen Lady Justice. I can use it on top of my next card, Shark Fortress, and basically destroy all defense position monsters, which is good because now at my locals I have 2 people running Chain Burn, so get rid of those tokens and marshmallows and all that on their side of the field. And that was my deck profile. Tell me what you thought. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll have a new one in April.